Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
The world will be watching as President Trump makes his first visit here to the United Nations. I'm Nikki Batiste. I'll have the details coming up.
And wet weather helps tamp down wildfires across Montana, but the weather has not yet ended fire season. The latest from those fire lines, that's all ahead. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Missy O'Malley. Chet will be along with our forecast in a moment, and Matt is doing evening weather this week. President Trump makes his United Nations debut today. CBS's Nikki Batiste is at the UN, where the president is expected to discuss North Korea, global terrorism, and the Paris Climate Agreement.
President Trump arrives at the United Nations today for the opening of the General Assembly. With North Korea expected to be issue number one, administration officials took to the Sunday morning talk shows, warning U.S. patience is running thin.
We've pretty much exhausted all the things that we could do at the Security Council at this point. Now, I'm perfectly happy kicking this over to General Mattis because he has plenty of military options.
The White House says among the meetings the president has this week in New York, one with the South Korean president, which will focus on how to maximize economic and diplomatic pressure on North Korea. All eyes will be on Mr. Trump tomorrow when he delivers a speech here to delegates. He's expected to address Iran, Syria, and global terrorism, all while promoting an America First agenda. The president is also expected to go after the UN itself, pushing for reforms that include more transparency and accountability.
I think he does believe the United Nations can be a very important instrument of addressing these threats to the world, but I think he also takes the view that the United Nations has fallen short, and he wants to motivate them in that regard.
Tillerson also hinted at the possibility of sticking with the Paris Climate Agreement, saying the president remains, quote, open to finding those conditions where we can remain engaged. Nikki Batiste for CBS News, the United Nations.
Neither presidents from China nor Russia will be at the UN this week, and as North Korea's two primary trader partners, President Trump has urged both leaders to do more to help convince Pyongyang to stand down.
More to follow on the president at the United Nations coming up at 7 o'clock on CBS this morning, for sure.
More to follow on a little bit more rain, maybe?
Yeah, it's going to be a little damp and chilly for the next couple of days, and I better not hear a single person complain about it, right? No complaints taken this week, people. This is what we're looking at. The rain showers already starting to fall in western and northwestern Montana. Temperatures in the 40s, 50s out in Livingston with some gusty winds. The secret temperature in Ennis, we can't tell you that. You have to tune in 10 minutes. I'll tell you what it is there. No, it's a super secret. 30 degrees in West Yellowstone right now. I have no idea why that's not on there. I can't answer that question. Temperatures in the low 60s in Bozeman with some off and on rain showers, maybe even a thunder shower too. Listen for that and let us know if you hear it. In the mining city, temperatures into the 50s today with better chance of rain showers. Some gusty winds in places in southwest Montana too. I have the complete details, Missy, from the Billion Auto Weather Patio in 10 minutes.
Thank you, Chet. Now 6:33, police have arrested more than 80 people and confiscated at least 5 weapons after a night of unrest in downtown St. Louis. Peaceful demonstrations during the day opposing a verdict that found a former police officer not guilty of murder turned violent at night. Protesters began causing property damage at around 8:30 and officers quickly moved into force. Windows of several businesses were broken, trash cans and flower pots were damaged and overturned, and furniture was thrown down the street. Police declared a gathering near the intersection to be an unlawful assembly and began arresting anyone who did not disperse. Authorities said several officers were assaulted throughout the night, some having unknown chemicals thrown at them. Those officers suffered minor injuries to moderate injuries. And in news from around the state, Flathead County students will have another day off as investigators continue a probe to a cyber threat that forced all schools to close on Thursday and Friday. Flathead County Sheriff Chuck Curry says that local, federal, and international agencies are continuing to work around the clock on cyber terrorism in the case that has affected those schools. Law enforcement will spend today helping schools with security assessments. The sheriff says that law enforcement will maintain a presence in the schools until officers are able to apprehend the suspect or further discredit the threat. Now, during the course of the investigation, officers found that the suspect had hacked the Columbia Falls School District network, gaining access to some phone numbers of students and parents. Now, according to Sheriff Curry's, he says the suspect electronically began contacting a random small group of those parents with disturbing and graphic personalized threats this past Saturday. The Whitefish School Superintendent says that staff in the Whitefish School District and schools throughout Flathead County will report to school today, and students will return on Tuesday. And down but not out. That's the story for wildfires in Montana after a pretty wet and snowy weekend. Crews on the Highway 200 complex near Thompson Falls are going to try a different method to create a perimeter around that fire. They plan on using explosives on the east side of Sheep Gap Fire. Now, if crews were to do this by hand, it would take them about 2 days. However, the explosives will take just a few hours. Residents in that area may be hearing explosions while this is being done. The highway complex is currently at 48,118 acres. And the pre-evacuation warnings that had been in place for the Apgar area in Glacier National Park due to the Sprague fire have now been lifted. The evacuation orders remains in effect, though, between the foot of McDonald Lake and Logan Pass. Now, evacuation warnings have also been lifted for a portion of West Glacier and along with Glacier National Park's northern border. Sprague is about 2/3 contained and has burned about 16,000 acres. And the final evacuation warnings near Lolo Peak Fire have been lifted. It was sparked by lightning on July 15th, and it's burned more than 53,400 acres. It's destroyed 2 homes. More than 450 people have been fighting that fire. It's a little bit more than 50% contained at this time. And don't forget, although the conditions are getting a little bit better, fire crews are still out and working to exterminate those 45 fires that are still burning around the state. And as Montanans, we want to help in any way we can, so MTN has started the Montana Wildfire Relief Fund. So far, we've raised more than $73,000, and with a matching grant of $50,000 from MTN stations. Now, we're not stopping yet. Big thanks to all the generous donations that have been coming in, also from the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation. The next $50,000 in donations are going to be matched again. To donate, head over to KBZK or KXLF.com/wildfire fund. And on Sunday, it was the perfect day to run a very, very long way. MTN's David J. brings us a look at the 26-mile Montana Marathon.
This is my 26th marathon, 26 different state.
It's number 46, 31 states.
I think this is about 110 or so. I've been hoping to get a Boston qualifying time, which would have been sub 3:30, and I ran 3:27, so really happy.
Oh, I can fist bump with the water. Woo! Got this, woo! High five! Yes! Woo! Woo! You got a high five and a run partner. Okay, I'm slow, Shelly. Oh, that's okay. I know you're fine. We can skip.
I like to eat. I like to eat, gotta burn the calories.
You know, I'm not from here. They talk about big sky country. I see what they mean.
Beautiful day. The weather was just perfect for running. You know, just the way the last, couple months have been just hot and smoky, and to have it cool off and just be really nice and clear was just fantastic.
Just got to keep on going and trust the training you put in. You know, when you finished, you look back on it and it feels really good.
My wife thinks I'm crazy, but I really enjoyed. I enjoy challenging myself.
It's enjoyable. I mean, it depends on what pace you go at. I like to do a run-walk mix. Makes it more enjoyable.
Just finished his marathon. Good job in Omaha.
It was a great race, and loved doing it, and look forward to doing it again next year.
The Montana Marathon also included a 13.1 half marathon, a 10K, and a 1-mile kids run. Big congratulations to MTN's Asia Gore, who finished the half marathon in just under 2 hours. Nice work, Asia. And people in Butte laced up their walking shoes on Saturday to raise money to fight against cancer. The annual Relay for Life event in Butte started at the Butte Plaza Mall, where teams of sponsors walked laps around the room all day to raise money for American Cancer Society. People remembered cancer victims and survivors with paper lanterns lined along that track. Now, the event not only raises money to help victims of cancer, but it's also a big show of community support.
We get to take one day out of our busy lives and dedicate it just to remembering that this is a hard fight, this is a hard battle, and yet we can all come together for the one cause, even though everything is so different for each journey.
Now, the event attracted as many as 300 walkers throughout the day. Congratulations. And finally, U.S. President Donald Trump's childhood home in New York had some new occupants over the weekend. Refugees who shared their stories as a way to draw attention to the refugee crisis at the United Nations General Assembly, which convenes this week with the president in attendance. The three-story Tudor-style home in Queens that Trump's father, Fred, built in the 1940s is now rental, available on Airbnb, that anyone can stay at for $725 a night. An unidentified buyer purchased the home in March for $2.1 million. The international anti-poverty organization Oxfam rented it, and on Saturday invited 4 refugees to talk with journalists. "We wanted to send a strong message," said Shannon Schreibner, an acting director for the humanitarian department of Oxfam America. The Republican president's administration issued travel bans on people from 6 Muslim-majority countries and all refugees. And after various court challenges, the Supreme Court last week allowed the restrictive policy on refugees to remain temporary, and justices will hear arguments on the bans on October 10th. We are getting ready to head into a quick break, but before we do, here's a little preview of what's happening next on Montana This Morning.
The stars are out for the 69th Annual Emmy Awards. I'm Chris Martinez in Los Angeles. I'll tell you who the big winners were coming up.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, we're tracking Hurricanes Maria and Jose. They could impact millions of Americans this week. And more from Nora's Sunday morning conversation with Tom Brady, how the 40-year-old quarterback embraces a more holistic approach to fitness. See you at 7.